Hi everyone, welcome to the next video from this page in Small Victories by Johanna Basford using Black Widow's pencils. Now we have an interesting looking flower here, and it looks to me a little bit like maybe it's a teasel, and maybe that rounded bit here might be sort of brown and dry, and this might be seeds on top. Should we do that? It'd be a bit different, wouldn't it, to like just doing it as a flower? So let's have a go. Let's have a look at colours, have a think. I think I'm going to start with the colour called Saddle, which is here. Saddle. It's very hard to see, isn't it? So again, one of the dragon ones are really tricky to see. I'm just going to sharpen it. Just some of these bits. There we go. I think I'm going to do the whole thing in Saddle, really not too hard, just get a little base colour down and then I'll have a little think. So I hope everyone's good. It's a bit sunny at the moment. I'm quite pleased. My feet are really cold. Hoping that it's going to warm them up a bit. Now, how do we deal with this? I'm thinking I'm going to deal with it as if it's spherical. So putting more colour on the edge, like that, lots of layers, and then less towards the centre. It's not showing up too well. I think I'm going to grab something a bit darker to emphasise that in a minute. But we'll just make them all match. There we go. My son's just gone off for a driving lesson. My other son, my husband, are at work. So it's all suddenly gone very peaceful in the house. I'm going to use the tarantula. I'm sorry for anyone who's arachnophobic. It's just a colour. And I'm going to go more delicately around the edge. Whoops! Pop. Around here. We're getting a little bit darker than it would be if it was a teasel, but I think it looks better with a bit more contrast. Yeah, he's been helping me. My son, who's doing his driving lessons, he's on uni holiday, he's been helping me so much. And my husband said, oh, I was saying he's so good, and he gets a little bit grumpy sometimes about it, but he sort of said this morning, you know, me and him, we don't have big stressful things to do during the day, so I'm only just outlining these with this, so you know, we can do a few more jobs. It's like my husband said, he said, I'll do the dishwasher this morning, you know. I said, well, my son said he'd do it. Our son said he'd do it. He said, no, I'm going to do it. And then he found it really difficult because he was trying to do it at the same time as making his breakfast. And he had a lot of work, things on his mind. This is Huntsman. And I was thinking to myself, no, really, you don't need to do it. You know, he finds it difficult to sort of cope and juggle, whereas I don't. Now, some people say to me, well, that's, you know, you should all share and that's unfair and that sort of thing. I'm going back to the tarantula, put a little bit inside that extra dark bit. But, you know, I work from home. I can work whatever hours I want. I can fit everything around my family. And I'm going back to the saddle to do last little bit. And I don't mind doing chores, really. Sometimes it starts to annoy me, you know, but it's all got to be done at the end of the day. I like cooking. I don't mind stacking dishwashers and cleaning kitchen and things like that, you know. Now I'm looking for a colour for these leaves. It looks quite bronzy, doesn't it? I rather like it. The leaves, I'm thinking maybe we should go for a sort of olive type colour. Maybe I'll just use the olive green. I think that one's hard to find. I think it's sharpened off. There it is. Olive green. You can see why it's hard to find. There we go. I think, like my sister says to me, oh, you should make them do more. And it's like, but she's always hated doing chores. She's always thought it's unfair. She's always felt that people should be paid to do chores even sometimes. Things like that. And she's just never really liked them at all. What's that colour? That's called Passion. We haven't used that yet. I don't think. I haven't sharpened it lately anyway. Passion. I'm going to try it. I think it's a bit too bright. It might just lift the whole thing. But no, I don't mind. I've just been used to doing it. It was always expected when I was growing up that everyone helped. And then, you know, when I moved out of home, I moved in with her and someone had to do it. She didn't really like doing it. I used to end up doing a fair bit, but I didn't mind. I got used to it. Right, I think that we are done with that one. Yeah, I think I'm happy. I don't want to mess with it anymore. But as I said with some of the others, if you want the stem to be coloured, you could use a gel pen in the sort of green. I would use an olive green, but you could also even match him with the brown. I would do that. But as I say, I'm not going to be doing that, so I'm not. But there we go. There is today's done. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got something a bit different tomorrow. Butterfly. I wonder how I'm going to do that. You'll have to tune in and find out, and so will I, because I've got no idea. Have a super rest of your day, and happy colouring.